Welcome, racing fans, to motorsportsradio.net, the home of motorsports talk. This is the Motorsports Radio Breakdown Show 625. Left turns and right turns in California's wine country. Sonoma Raceway for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series for the Toyota Save Mart 350. A 110-lapper on Sunday. Pole sitter Kyle Larson in the 42 car. Starting second was Jamie McMurray in the number 1. And starting in third was Martin Truex Jr. in the 78. Kyle Busch and AJ Allmendinger started fourth and fifth. 18 in the 47. Green flag flies, and the first road course race of the season gets started at 3:22 p.m. Eastern Time. Kyle Larson wasting no time, taking command of the lead through the twists and turns. Daniel Suarez making an early pit stop at lap 3. Flat tire here for the number 19 car, and a fight for a second between McMurray and Truex Jr. through turn 11, and that opens up this race on Sunday. Kyle Busch lap 6 coming in for a green flag pit stop as well, with a tie issue. Top 3 lap 7, Kyle Larson, Truex Jr., and AJ Allmendinger. Jay McMurray down in 4th. Ties were a bit of an issue today. At lap 10, we got a new race leader, Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Larson would drop down to 3rd. AJ Allmendinger moved up to 2nd. Truex Jr. quickly putting some distance, 2.5 seconds on Allmendinger at lap 13. Top 3 at lap 13 was Truex Jr., Allmendinger, and Kevin Harvick. Kyle Larson dropped down to 4th. Then we get to lap 14, and the first caution. Dale Jr. got loose at the entrance of turn 11, goes wide and sideways across the rumble strip and clips Danica Patrick's car. Some damage to Jr.'s 88, but nothing too crazy. Danica Patrick had a little bit of damage. Turn 11 very quickly because you got to hit the brakes to get around that very tight turn. The restart here would be at lap 17. With Chris Buescher, the 37 car, in the lead as he did not pit during this caution. Some pit strategy since there was a stage caution coming up at lap 25. A fight for the lead off this restart, because restarting in second was Bert Keselowski, but Buescher was holding it down in the Kingswood Charcoal car. However, did get overtaken by AJ Allmendinger at lap 18. Allmendinger in front, Kyle Busch second, and Truex Jr. third. That was the top 3 at lap 19. Buescher would drop down to 6th. Lap 22, a round of green flag pit stops with a lot of customers coming down pit road. A nitty-gritty fight for the lead between Allmendinger and Truex Jr. Truex Jr. gets by at lap 23. Trouble in the S turns for Clint Boyer. He's going sideways, but no caution, and stage 1 would finish at lap 25. Truex Jr., the stage 1 winner. Allmendinger comes in second. Kyle Larson comes in third. The 78, 47, and the 42. Stage 2. Now, Truex Jr. remains the race leader for the start of the second stage. Ryan Blaney moves up to second place, and Denny Hamlin in third, and it was back to green at lap 30. Alan Day, driver of the 23 car, goes around into the infield grass. No caution here, but the caution would come out because we had trouble at turn 4A between Danica Patrick and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This would be the third caution. Danica Patrick in a 3 wide that went wrong, got sideways, and Stenhouse Jr. made some contact, so probably going to be talking about that this week. So this is the third caution at lap 30, and restart here would be at lap 33. AJ Allmendinger got into some trouble at lap 34 through turn 11, getting around sideways and clipping David Reagan's car. I thought it was Kyle Larson's, but they said it was David Reagan. Damage had Allmendinger's 47 car with the back tail light hanging out there, so he had to come in the pit. No caution for this incident. Truex Jr. still in front with a 2.5 second lead. Now second place Denny Hamlin, a 2.49 at lap 37. Third place Jimmy Johnson making an inside pass on Denny Hamlin to take the lead, to take second through. Now turn 11, at this race course at Sonoma, turn 11 is where you get most of your passes. There was also some debris in turn 11, and this would bring out caution number 5. Restart lap 40 with another new leader, Jimmy Johnson, which a lot of folks thought was going to win today. Jimmy Johnson in front with Kevin Harvick and Jay McMurray fighting for second. Jimmy Johnson, he now has a 2.5 second lead, a 2.4 at lap 41. Daniel Suarez having some trouble out there as well at this point. He goes sideways. And then we have a second round of green flag pit stops at lap 47. Truex Jr. had some issues in his pit box here, and we had Clint Boyer too fast on pit road, and then stage 2 would wrap up at lap 50. Stage 2 winner Jimmy Johnson. Bart Keselowski comes in second, and Matt Kenseth would come in third, 48-2 and the 20. Stage 3, Denny Hamlin, the leader for the start of the third stage. Dale Jr. second, back to green at lap 54. Jimmy Johnson dropped down to 22nd. The double 1 and the double 8. Some contact between Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, nothing crazy. Lap 55, the race halfway mark, with Hamlin Jr. and Austin Dillon running the top 3. The 88, though, chasing down the 11. And during commercials, Kyle Busch moves up to second. And after the commercials, Kyle Busch takes the lead. Hamlin would drop down to fourth. Harvick now up in second. Truex Jr. in third. Harvick harassing Busch, however, and at lap 64, Harvick becomes the new race leader. Kyle Busch dropped down to third, and Truex Jr. would move up to second. But at lap 67, Truex Jr. gets by, and he would become the leader once again. Dale Jr. and others heading down to pit road at lap 68. This would be the third round of green flag pit stops. And then we got a battle for the lead between the two Team Penske drivers, Keselowski and Logano. Logano would take the lead here, and being a Logano fan for a long time, I know not to get excited if you see the 22 car up front, unless there's like maybe just 10 or 5 or 2 laps left. If you're a Logano fan and follow Logano, you know what I'm talking about. Keselowski, Logano, and Chase Elliott now in the top 3 at lap 73. Keselowski with a 2.5 second lead. It was actually a 2.6 at lap 75, and then a 4.3 at lap 76, and then a 6.4 at lap 78. Okay, so then Logano goes in the pit. So it was Keselowski, Harvick, and Truex Jr. Logano too fast on pit road, and he would drop down to 22nd. Keselowski's lead on now second place Kevin Harvick, a 9.8 at lap 82. Problems for Truex Jr. here, and this is where Truex Jr. Would wrap it up for the day. Major issues for the 78 car coming into pit road. Tried to get out of pit road, but starting to get stuck out there and heads to the garage. Don't know what happened with his car right here. Could be anything, but he was done for the day. And after Keselowski's crazy lead, finally the number 2 car drops down to second as Kevin Harvick would take the lead, getting through turn 7 at lap 89. So now we had a top 3 of Kevin Harvick, Brett Keselowski, Denny Hamlin. Harvick in the mobile car on Sunday. Lap 90 starts the last 20. Keselowski at lap 93 finally comes into pit, and this would be the 4th round of green flag pit stops as a bunch of others would come into pit as well. The top 3 lap 93 would be Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, and Clint Boyer. Harvick with a 7-second lead, a 7.4 at lap 94. A few cars driving in the grass. We had Boris Said, the 33 car, and then we had Matt Kenseth into the grass after a little contact from Billy Johnson, who was driving the 43 car this weekend. But it was the driver of the number 4 making the headlines in the closing laps of the Wine Country Showdown. The last 10 started at lap 100. Austin Dillon goes around through turn 11 after contact with Jimmy Johnson's car. No caution here. This was at lap 104. And then over at turn 7, we had Clint Boyer stealing second from Denny Hamlin. And then we get to lap 109 with the white flag in the air. Lap 110 seals the deal, and Kevin Harvick goes and wins the Toyota Save Mart 350. Now, Casey Kane got into the wall. I don't know what turn it was. It might have been turn 10, maybe. Right before they got to that little... Not really. Right before they got to turn 11. But Casey Kane got into the wall there. So this would be a yellow checkered finish. Kevin Harvick snapping a 20-race losing streak and a post-race burnout rating. I gave it a big A. Clint Boyer comes in second. Keselowski comes in third. Denny Hamlin comes in fourth. Kyle Busch fifth. And Dale Jr. comes in sixth. Pole sitter Kyle Larson would come in 26th. All right, next stop on the Cup Series schedule. It's back to Daytona next weekend for some Daytona night racing, and it should be a good one. Motorsports Radio Weekend Edition this Thursday at 7:25 p.m. As we'll have the racing schedule, driver standings, and all that good stuff. From Long Island, New York, this is Manny Allegretta, and this is the home of Motorsports Talk, motorsportsradio.net.